You did it, Hardcore Henry. You did it. You win the prize for being the first movie that I've ever walked out of. And hang on a second, I'll get your award. Hello everybody, welcome back to Drinks and a Movie. Chris Hampker here, and yep, it's Hardcore Henry time, and we'll get to that, but first, seriously, this is the, really, I need to start with the drink on this one, because I need a drink to talk about this movie. So what drink I'm going to make is a drink called the Hardcore Cocktail. And the Hardcore Cocktail is one shot of 151 rum, because it is hardcore. One shot of spiced rum. A half shot of triple sec. And a half shot of Amaretto. All poured into a glass with ice and topped off with Coca-Cola. And try to find your smallest glass of Coke you can get. Poured in to a glass with ice. More Coke the better, because goddamn. And stir. Alright, let's try this out. Cheers, everybody. Not bad. Okay, so Hardcore Henry is written and directed by Ilya Nishuler. Now, Ilya Nishuler made this off of the success he gained by a 5-minute short video, essentially made for his band. He was making a music video for his band called Bad Motherfucker, and it's in the same first-person shooter vein, and I'll give him credit. In this 5-minute little music video, he does some pretty cool stuff. There's some neat, innovative things, and it looks great, and watching it for 5 minutes is fine. But then he went and made Hardcore Henry, which is a 87-minute long first-person shooter movie, and it just didn't work. It failed on all levels. So, as I mentioned earlier, this movie beat out the very, very tough competition of 1998's Beloved, the last movie that I really, really wanted to walk out of, but I stuck it through. I mean, Beloved ended after 3 hours with Oprah Winfrey, Danny Glover assisting Tandy Newton in a very uncomfortable birthing scene that didn't make any sense, and it had like 6 endings, not the good kind. Like, Return of the King, which even was a little overdone. This movie, I so totally wanted to walk out of, but I didn't. I stuck it out because I do that. That's what I want to do. I try to do that. But this movie, I'll give it credit, made me hate it so much that at about the hour-long mark, and it's like an 87-minute long movie, I picked up and left. I just didn't care. I didn't want to finish it, and I left. I walked out. Okay, so Hardcore Henry is what I'd like to call a gimmick film. Now, real quick, a gimmick film is taking a gimmick or new technology and building a story around this, new technology that you've discovered or perfected, instead of taking a new technology like computer graphics or a way to use the camera and letting that help move your story forward. Now, the dangers in gimmick films is that they work about 50% of the time, and a lot of times films are given such praise just for the gimmick themselves, like Avatar, which Avatar is like, James Cameron was all, I got this great new idea, and we've done a lot with motion capture and 3D, and it's called Avatar, and the producers were like, but isn't that just Dances with Wolves in space with a little bit of Fern Gully? Yeah, but we've done all this amazing work with motion capture, and the people are going to look exactly like it. We're going to put this apparatus in 3D. It's going to look amazing, and so, all right. and that was Avatar, and was nominated for Best Picture. Another one that it happened with is Boyhood. The gimmick was filming a movie over 12 years, and Boyhood is one of the most boring pieces of shit I've ever seen. The whole trick of the movie is filming something in 12 years and watching this boy grow up, which TV does this all the time. You watch 8 seasons of the show Parenthood, and you watch these kids grow up, and it's actually a more engaging story than Boyhood was. But Boyhood, nominated for Best Picture again. Good job, Academy. Now, there are instances where gimmicks actually work, and they, prove to make the movie better. Hitchcock's Rope and Inarritu's Birdman. The gimmick in that is making the audience think that the whole thing was filmed all in one shot or one take. Or Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where the gimmick was the actors working, together with cartoons for the first time. And the reason this worked is because they had stories around them that were compelling and well done and well written and well acted. I mean, everything around them worked. So the gimmick didn't take front stage. It was there, and it served the story's purpose. Now, Hardcore Henry had limited redeeming qualities. I mean, I mentioned, great story and great acting and great characters that if you have that, your gimmick kind of falls to the background. This movie had none of these things. The only redeeming quality it has was Sharlto Copley's character that, even after a while got kind of tired and boring, and I ceased to even care about him, but he was at least interesting and entertaining and funny. And, there's some really neat special effects here, but they really can't carry a 90-minute movie. Alright, so I gotta be honest, full disclosure, I'm not a huge fan of first-person shooter video games. I mean, I've played them, I own them, I own a couple of Call of Duties, I've played Battlefield, I've done this stuff, and I don't hate it. I do need to take motion sickness medicine to take them, because they do get a little bit nauseous, but I did that. I took my medicine before going into this movie, because I knew what I was getting into. And so that's not my issue with the movie. The idea of everything shot through this first-person point of view is a neat idea, and it was actually done really well back in, remember his TV series called Tales from the Crypt? It was this horror series for a half-hour-long little vignettes back in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, that were pretty brilliant, kind of dark, kind of like The Twilight Zone. But there was one called Abracadaver, where a guy, it's completely shot, mostly shot in first-person point of view, of a guy who is trapped inside a quote-unquote dead body. Everybody thinks he's dead, and so he's witnessing all these things going on in front of him, and he can't really do anything about it, and so it was kind of scary, kind of, suspenseful, but done really well. I mean, it was a great idea, and here the gimmick worked because it served the story, like I said before. Alright, so did this movie make me sick? Yes, it did. It made me nauseous. And that was one of the problems. Consider this, so this movie is like a roller coaster. Now, people love roller coasters. They love to go on roller coasters. I mean, there's theme parks all over the country. So roller coasters are a big hit with a lot of people. So this movie's just like a roller coaster. So you go in the roller coaster and you're sitting there and you're clicking up the thing, click, 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 and you look down and you're like, holy shit, I'm about to drop. And then you drop and you're all over the place, and you're getting a little bit of a headache, there's a little bit of pain, a lot of adrenaline, a lot of fear going on. And it lasts for about 3 minutes, and then you're back and you're like, oh my god, that was amazing. I want to do it again. Not right away, but I want to do it again. Imagine that, but for 87 minutes straight. Just knocking you around, your head's starting to hurt, and then you realize that there's another hour long into this thing, and you're like, Jesus Christ, when is this thing going to end? I mean, it's just like that. And, let's just get down to it. I am giving this movie -1 drinks. And the reason is that I couldn't even finish my beer when I watched it the other night. I walked out and didn't finish my beer. So, -1 drinks to you, Hardcore Henry. The only plus side about that night is that the movie tavern manager gave me a free ticket because I was leaving early. Because I think he understood. So good job, movie tavern. Cheers to you. Anyway, look, don't go see this movie. It's terrible. Do anything else. Go to an amusement park and ride a roller coaster for 3 minutes. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me. If you like this, subscribe down here at the bottom. I really appreciate you guys watching these videos. I have a lot of fun doing them. Thanks. Cheers, guys. Have a drink on me. See you next time.